Hey everyone, my name is Byron. I'm here to testify for Jesus Christ. Yesterday, which was March the 30th of 2024, I was listening to Jeremiah, probably around Jeremiah 6 up through Jeremiah 9. When I got to Jeremiah 9:24, I stopped. And the reason I stopped is up until Jeremiah 9:24, I had thought to myself, man, people just don't know God. They don't know what he's capable of or what he may do. And then when I got to verse 24 of chapter 9, I realized God explained that to the people. So I wanted to go through that just for people's edification. Sometimes we have our own idea of God, or we could maybe substitute, we've imagined what we would like God to be like, when we don't really know who specifically is. And the only way I know of doing that is to read the Bible and find out for yourself, because another person can only share their understanding of who God is and what God is all about. So let me read. There's two verses I'm going to read, starting at verse 23 of Jeremiah chapter 9, and then I'll get to 24. But it says, "Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me," and that's Jehovah, "that I am the Lord, Jehovah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord." So when you get down to three words, loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness, and that he exercises those in the earth. To exercise is to put into motion. So he puts into motion loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness. And when you dive into those, you're gonna realize there's patience, there's love, there's compassion. But then that's under loving kindness, and you're gonna also realize, well, judgment, that means he makes the call. Consider it a referee. These are the rules that I expect people to play by, and the referee makes decisions or makes judgment based on the rules. And if you don't know the rules, it's very possible you can lose the game or not do well in a game, not because you're not a good player or you don't have a good understanding of how to perform certain acts, but you don't have the whole rule book, or you don't understand. And God has certain ways he expects people to be. And when they're not, he brings judgment. He judges it and then brings judgment. And by judgment, I mean he deals with things in the manner in which he decides to deal with them. You can look, and I always talk about the church of Thyatira. In the church of Thyatira in Revelation, start in chapter 2 of Revelation, Jesus states to the church, "I'll put you into great tribulation." So while there's people who have imagined in their mind that Christians will not be here for what they call the great tribulation, Christians will be here for what the Bible states is great tribulation. So it's very it's interesting to wade through these things in your mind and understand who and what God is, when you realize there's people around you saying one thing and there's a Bible saying something completely different. And then he goes on and talks about and righteousness. And righteousness would just be, here's my laws of righteousness. And then you are expected to live according to these. Like, again, using the church of Thyatira. One of the laws God has is that you'll love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. And if you look at all through the Old Testament, Israel didn't do that. They went and served other gods, false gods, etc. Well, similarly, in the church of Thyatira, a New Testament church, that church is going into great tribulation for allowing a Jezebel, which I say is Freemasonry, and I believe the Lord has shown me that, to teach and to seduce God's servants away or to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed to idols. So for every person, there is a imagination or an image of who God is out here in the world. And if you take their opinion, you're taking their opinion, not who really God is. But read the Bible. Understand what the Bible says. The Bible will tell you what God did in this situation, in that situation, and over the course of time, you develop who God truly is. And I just want to close by saying, I believe the biggest idol in America is people's perception of who God is. People have a perception, oh, God ain't nothing. People have a perception, oh, God's a sweet God. People have a perception of, well, he would never do that. Those are idols. And I can say people have built that up within their heart. It's an idol of their heart or their imagination. But to understand who God truly is, and if you were to listen to what I listened to yesterday, about Jeremiah chapter 6 through 9-ish, God was dealing with people in a very harsh manner, in a way in which people don't want to believe that's how God is, but he brings judgment. So anyway, I'm going to let this go. Just be leery of the idol of who God is that has been built up in not only your own mind, but perhaps other people that you go to say, well, tell me about God. What's your understanding? And they'll tell you their opinion or their imagination of God. Truly understand it, get in the book, get in the Bible, read what the Bible says. So I'll let you go.